Right. So as part of our scenario-based learning, when we are working on property and casualty insurance as a business analyst, exclusively when we are working on Guidewire Policy Center application. So as a BA, when we are trying to understand about a particular business situation, right? So what kind of key challenges that they are facing, right? What must be the outcome deliverables of that? As a BA, first of all, we must be knowing about some background focus points and business objectives. That is what the session is all about, right? So as a business analyst, when we apply for any job requirements or when we are applying for any uh, interviews or something, the very first thing, based upon the skill sets that we carry, it is important, really important for us to detail about the kind of background of the customer to whom we are providing the solution. That is point number one. Point number two, we must elaborate what must be the focused points and what business objectives that were identified by us and what business objectives that we want to achieve. So in regard to that, I'm just making a video. As in, I have taken one example, which is for a background where Crodic is an insurance company, which is a mid-sized property and casualty insurance company. Now they're in the stage of undergoing a stage of digital transformation under commercial lines underwriting process. Because underwriting is an activity which basically assess the amount of risk which is involved if you want to insure any kind of insurance policies to any individual or companies or businesses, all that. So this company is in a stage of undergoing from digital transformation, right? They want to modernize their commercial lines of underwriting process. So for this, they are using Guidewire Policy Center, which is of V10, right? So version 10 they were using for any policy administration. But the major, the line of the issue is that uh, still they are relying on the manual process, right? So they are still relying on the manual process. At the same time preparing some spreadsheets, right? So updating the underwriting process on the spreadsheets. So where there is a problem they are facing in the disconnect with systems, with the updated systems, all that. That was the major problem or a business situation or a background that we need to identify. When you are explaining as a BA, this is something you need to explain. So this is a background, first of all. So when you explain the background on your own way, uh, we must be focusing on the focused points. Whatever the focused points as a BA, we based on the stakeholder interaction or stakeholder identification that we have made. What must be the focused points? The focus points based on the observation, based on the business situation, interacted with couple of stakeholders. So the focused points are four. One is about the risk evaluation because this is about the underwriting process. Risk evaluation is part of underwriting. So underwrite risk evaluation is one of the focused point to provide a solution on a larger scale technically. Next, broker communication, right? So that is another second focused point we need to be. Third, about document generation, followed by regulatory compliance check. These are the major focused points as a BA. Assume that we have identified, okay? Because this is all happens when we interact with stakeholders in different means, like either through observation, you will be knowing many things, right? So conducting some chat sessions, some interviews in different ways of communication. So you will be knowing about the business problem out of the business situation, what we have identified and observed. So based on the stakeholder interactions, all that, because as part of my training, as part of my coaching under BA, property casualty insurance domain, exclusively when you are addressing any Guidewire Policy Center application, all that. We have to understand the focused points. These are the focused points based on the interaction we had with people, we usually identify that. That is the second thing. This is all part of the learning. So third about the business objectives. What business objectives were identified? Business objectives were identified based on the business situation that were initiated or that were observed by us as a BA team. So, because this is a manual process wherein they are preparing some spreadsheets, all that. So they wants to automate and streamline the commercial lines underwriting process in the policy center because earlier they were in the stage of manual, now they were planning to streamline this into an automation state where they want to integrate with some third-party data providers, something like ISO or LexisNexis, all that. At the same time, they wants to enhance some dynamic forms for custom coverages, policy coverages I am referring to. Along with that, implementing some automated task. At the same time, whatever the automated risk scoring or referred rules we have, because depends on the type of policy that we are identified as a risk, it varies. For example, we have taken some commercial insurance, commercial vehicle and all. It depends on the type of vehicle manufacturing, who is the owner of the vehicle, at the same time, driver of the vehicle, right? By considering his age, his experience, what type of goods are they transporting, and what were the geographical locations they were transporting. So this is all based on these are different parameters will be taken as an example for risk scoring, right? So risk scoring, referral rules, all that. Next, we need to achieve the compliances with some state specific filing regulations and all that. Next, we need to improve the user experience for underwriters and brokers. These are the business objectives as a BA one need to be achieved with. Okay, this is all something as a baseline of a role of a business analyst. We need to know. We must understand about the background. We must be. We must explain about the kind of focus points that we want to be addressed with. At the same time, what are the business objectives that were identified, which we want to be achieved end of the day by automating and streamlining the commercial lines is something as a BA you need to be addressed with. Now, once we have identified the business activities, next what as a BA you will be doing, right? So what you will be doing in the phase of analysis, what you will be doing in the phase of planning and design, implementation, testing, deployment, design, delivery, all that. And what are the key challenges we have identified here? At the same time, what must be the possible outcome that we are expecting as a technical solution by our technical team, and what must be the project deliverables? This is all something will be a part of project-based learning. Project-based, case study-based learning is something that you will be doing as part of learning process as a business analyst in Guidewire Policy Center. This part will be discussed in the project-based learning when we conduct, right? So there you'll be learning more in detail and how this can be implemented, what key challenges, what possible outcomes that we are expecting, possible followed by what must be the project deliverable. So everything that will be discussed in that.